This is what I experienced during meditation. It will shock you. Have you ever heard about phantom limb pain? Well, this is something really crazy and shocking. It's actually a very common phenomenon in which people feel pain in a limb that has been amputated. Even if we remove a body part, the brain still perceives it. This can be really painful. Now, this is what happens at a physical level. But what happens at a mental level? What happens when we meditate and try to look within our mind? Can we also perceive things that don't exist there? Are there any negative entities that can negatively affect us? Today, let's talk about this. Let's find out the answer. And for that, you need to subscribe to the channel. Hi guys, welcome back to another episode. If you are new here, then take a moment to subscribe because today we are going to have a deep dive in this topic. Now, I was meditating under the tree as usual. As I closed my eyes, I started feeling relaxed. Then I started seeing different colors inside my mind. All of a sudden, I saw a dark shadow coming towards me. I tried to ignore it, but it kept coming closer and closer. I tried to push it away, but it just kept penetrating through me like a knife. I couldn't believe what was happening. I felt so scared that I opened my eyes abruptly, and guess what? Nothing was there. When I went home and searched about this on the internet, I came across a term called phantom senses. This is a rare psychological phenomenon in which a person perceives things that don't exist. Like, for example, you can see things, hear sounds, smell odors, taste flavors, or feel sensations that are not really there. For example, you may feel that someone is touching you when no one is near you, or you may hear your name being called when you are alone in a silent room, or you may see shadows or figures moving around you even though no one is there. You can also experience phantom limb pain, as we talked before, in which you can feel the sensations in a body part that has been removed. For example, if you lose a hand in an accident, you may still feel pain or discomfort in that hand, even though it's not there anymore. Some researchers say that these sensations happen because of the reorganization of the brain after an amputation. When we lose a body part, the brain has to adjust to the new reality of living without it. So it starts sending signals to the missing body part, thinking that it's still there. However, these signals can sometimes be misinterpreted by the brain as painful or unpleasant sensations, which can lead to phantom limb pain. There are many cases of people experiencing phantom senses. For example, a woman named Nikki Homer from Wales said she saw a phantom cat that only she could see and hear meowing when no cat was near her. She couldn't understand why she was seeing and hearing this cat until she realized that it was her pet cat that had died a year ago. Another man named Ben McMahon from Australia said he experienced phantom limb pain in his left foot, even though he had never had a foot in his life. He was born without a left foot, and when doctors scanned his brain, they found that the area that controls sensations in the foot was very active, as if his brain was sending signals to a foot that wasn't there. So why do we get phantom senses? How do we explain them? One way to think about it is that our brains are always trying to make sense of the world around us by creating models of what we expect to see, hear, feel, etc. For example, if you touch something soft and fluffy, your brain might create a model of a cat or a dog or a cloud. When you see something that matches that model, your brain says, I was right. But sometimes our brains can get confused and create models of things that aren't really there. For example, if you haven't touched anything soft and fluffy recently, your brain might not have a model of what it feels like. So when you feel something soft and fluffy, your brain might create a new model of a bird or a butterfly or a leaf. And when you see something that matches that model, your brain might say, "Whoops, I was wrong. I actually feel like I'm touching a bird or a butterfly or a leaf." Another way to think about it is that our brains are always looking for patterns and connections between things. For example, if you see a cat and then you hear a meow, your brain might connect those two things and say, cats meow. But sometimes our brains can find patterns and connections that aren't really there. For example, if you've never seen a cat before, your brain might not know what a cat looks like. So when you see a shape that resembles a cat, your brain might create a new category for it and say, that looks like a thing that meows. And when you hear a meow, your brain might say, I was right, I found a thing that meows. So how do we deal with phantom senses? How do we make our brains stop perceiving things that aren't there? One way is to distract ourselves with other things that are more real or more relevant to us. For example, if we're seeing a phantom cat that only we can see and hear, we can try to focus on the things that other people can see and hear, like the sun shining through the window, the birds singing outside, or the conversation happening next to us. We can also try to create new models of those things that are more accurate and realistic. For example, if we're feeling phantom limb pain in a hand that we lost, we can try to imagine that we don't have a hand, and that we can use our other hand to do everything we need to do. I think dealing with phantom senses is a big challenge because it requires us to question our own reality and sanity. It's hard to trust our own perceptions when we don't know if they're real or imagined. It's also hard to ignore or override our own perceptions when they're so vivid and convincing. Some researchers also say that dealing with phantom senses is a necessary part of grieving the loss of a body part or a loved one. It's a way for us to express our sadness, anger, fear, or other emotions that we feel when we face a major change or loss in our lives. One thing I want to add here is that while dealing with phantom senses can be challenging, it can also be an opportunity for us to learn more about ourselves and our brains. It's a chance for us to explore the mysteries of consciousness and perception, and to appreciate the complexity and resilience of the human mind. It's also a chance for us to connect with others who share similar experiences and to build a community of support and understanding. As we come to the end of this discussion, I want to invite you to share your own experiences with phantom senses. Have you ever seen, heard, smelled, tasted, or touched something that wasn't there? Have you ever felt pain or discomfort in a body part that has been removed? Have you ever dealt with the loss of a body part or a loved one? If you have, please share your story in the comments below. Your story might help someone else who is going through the same thing, or it might help us learn more about this phenomenon. And as always, thank you so much for watching and supporting this channel. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and share it with your friends and family. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to get notified when I post new videos. Let's move on to our next video.